And hello, hello, hello. Yes, people, you are seeing right. No disc, no buy. That is exactly how I am right now. Feeling very, very angry about this whole thing. Then let's just make myself a little bit smaller. There we go. Professional YouTuber, everybody. I hope you guys are all having a great, wonderful, awesome weekend so far. We have a great show lined up for you guys. So without further ado, let's say hi to some of you out there already. We got Papa Stitch saying hello, hello, Scooby Pup. Hi, sweetie. Good to see you. Up on let's see. Let's see what else we got. Furious Dan. How you doing, hon? Good to see you. Always fun to see you. Triple J Junior. How you doing, sweetie? Good to see you always with those wonderful little cheers, sunglasses, and the rock and roll right back at you. St. Hugo. Yo-ho. Hello. Good to see you. And Smooth pulling double duty, both in chat and on screen.
Hello.
How you doing, hon?
I'm doing all right. Well, it's late at night, but I'm happy to be here. And yeah, I'm just as ticked off about Sony as you are. So the things Sony has done in the last couple of years have just been mind-boggling to me. Like, how can you fumble this hard? Like, being the leading platform for gaming, and then you pull the most anti-consumer stuff is like, words cannot describe how disappointed I am nowadays.
Oh, it's not just Sony in particular, but it's also
And generally,
Nintendo.
gaming companies as a whole.
Yeah, it's gaming in general. We had a lot of good stuff going, and then this happened.
Yeah, that's true.
We took it for granted. We never saw
Ain't that
this.
the truth? Honestly,
actually,
when I think about it this way, if somebody would have told me like 10 years ago that we would go this route of like no discs and then going all digital, I would have called you crazy. You know?
if somebody had said this to me, I would have said, I can see it. I can see it because of how simplified America always tries to get, how and more simple, and how easier and easier, and how things keep on changing and changing. I can see it. I didn't want to, but I could see it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the industry evolves whether we like it or not. Like, things go with the times, and obviously people would rather have the convenience of going all digital because they don't have to worry about like rearranging their shelves or storage units just to get their physical media. But I feel like, especially with the recent shift in technology and how things are going, it's actually interesting to see that a lot of people are picking up older consoles again. It's kind of fascinating,
true.
You know.
It's gonna it's gonna come back and hit them in the ass.
Yeah, definitely.
Since we're jumping straight back into the gaming sphere, we've had for the past couple of days comics and movies and stuff. I want to jump back into an area where I am far more comfortable. And I'm sure you are too, because I've seen your drawings so recently. Your drawings are pretty damn badass.
Thank you. Yeah, this is like a little side hobby of mine. It's basically one thing that maintains my sanity at the moment because my day job has been rather frustrating me a lot lately. So I have to do something that I feel comfortable and have fun with because other things just tick me off, especially when it comes to like the gaming sphere and everything else and all the doom and gloom that's going on social media at the moment. You kind of need a palate cleanse of sorts, you know, and that's what art and hitting the gym has been for me lately, just so I can like maintain a focus, you know. And honestly, gaming has changed a lot. I mean, I catch myself going back to like older games now because like a lot of the modern stuff just doesn't hit the same way as the older stuff does. Like I tried Beast of Reincarnation, for example, which is the one of the latest releases that Game Freak has put out, and honestly, I feel conflicted about that game. On the one hand, I kind of like it, but at the same time, it feels very empty and hollow. It's kind of strange.
They hyped it up and it turned out to be nothing. You think?
It is a hodgepodge of a lot of things you've seen before. It's just there's some things that are executed pretty well, and then there's other things where you're like, what were they thinking? Like some of the design choices don't make any sense. If you know what I mean, it's like you have like a mixture of like Stellar Blade with Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and then you have a bit of Pokemon in it, but like very very small amounts of Pokemon, which is like 5%. So it's a bit, I don't know. I can't really quite put my finger on it just yet. I will play the game to the end because I want to be fair to it and give it a fair shake. But at the moment, I feel like this game has an identity crisis. It doesn't really know what it wants to be. I mean, if you have Game Pass, I can strongly recommend you pick it up on Game Pass because then you technically get it for free, quote unquote.
Technically, it's like doing the same thing on PlayStation Plus. You know,
yeah,
get it for free.
I would say like wait for a sale if you really want to go for it and you want to buy the game. But like I said, just wait for it until there's a few more patches out and it's been ironed out a little bit, because there's a few things that annoy me with it. Like there's like just one song being played in the entire overworld when you're exploring, which does get a bit repetitive after a while. But
yeah, I hate it when that happens. It's like, please give me a different soundtrack. Like I don't want to hear the same damn song playing while I'm fighting a boss, and then the same damn song playing while I'm exploring. It's kind of like.
Have you played Blue Dragon, the Xbox 360 JRPG?
No.
There is, funnily enough, there's a song that was being recorded for the boss battles in that game. It's one of the games that Mistwalker Studios did. Some of the ex-Final Fantasy developers, like Sakaguchi worked on that one, and Nobuo Uematsu was involved in it, and Akira Toriyama. And the battle theme is basically a loop of a 30 to 45 second snippet with like a guitar solo in between, and it's sung by the vocalist of, I think it was Pink Floyd even. It's kind of wild. Wow. And but yeah, the song is very repetitive, even though I love myself some Pink Floyd, but you know, it's very, very, very repetitive. That was like an Xbox 360 game, but it was fun.
It gets like that with movies too, like Ghost in the Shell. It's the exact same song over and over and over and over and over, and it's kind of like, it's like, great, lots of exposition, I get it, but please do something about the music.
Oh, it was actually Deep Purple, the lead singer of Deep Purple, Ian Gillian. He sung the vocals on the battle theme. I just looked it up because I wasn't too sure anymore. But I get it with the repetitiveness of like music. I don't mind if it's like because you died over and over again and that's why it keeps getting repeated. That's fine. If it's like continuously, that's when I take issue with it, because it shows you that there was no consideration being put in with how the music works with the games.
There's no love.
I love. Yeah, exactly. That's why I love Devil May Cry 5, for example, because the music in that game is adjusts according to the way you fight and how good you fight, and then it gets more dynamic and more energetic the higher your style rank is. And that's what I like, because they recorded like 5 different versions of the song of each character just to give it a different layer each time, so it sounds different even though it's the same song. And I actually like that, because you're being rewarded with a very good version of the battle theme if you do well, you know. And it's the same thing like with like when I think back to like Pokemon games, for example, like you have different battle themes for different instances, right? Because you have the wild Pokemon battle theme, you have the trainer battle, you've got the gym leader battle theme, and then you got the Elite Four. and then you rival again because there's like different songs that are being played. And I personally prefer that over like hearing the same song for each and every battle.
And of course, IB to EB dropping.
Hey. Oh, he got the finger. Jeez.
One SCOOBYPUP membership.
Yeah.
Thank you so much,
Alec Bowen's
Gary.
finger.
For that, we will give
Yeah.
the man, and we'll pull out the man in red. Where is he?
What the hell are these? Hey, can I keep them? Can I keep them too? Why wouldn't you let me keep the girls too? We are gonna have to have some words after your stream, Scoob.
I never get tired of that.
That's pretty good, actually. That's pretty good.
Thank you for giving me a reason to make that clip, Ivy. You and Trunks, all you guys, you gave me a reason. Thank you. I love it when you guys do things like that. Then it inspires me to make more and more clips.
That's a pretty good hit, actually. Alec Baldwin's finger. He's a good dude. But yeah, but how do you feel about gaming in general? Like, I take it you've seen like the latest footage that's circling around about Wolverine. I
have been gaming since I was a little kid. Since I was a little Scooby, I have been a gamer. My brother and I would go at it in arcades. We would go at it at home. And as far as X-Men, the X-Men versus Marvel arcade games and stuff.
Oh, I love that game.
I would always play the characters that I loved most, of course, like Psylocke or Dante or Deadpool, all that good stuff.
You know what always makes me happy? I was recently reminded by YouTube that the Marvel vs. Capcom trailers existed, like the pre-release trailers where they pitted like certain characters against each other, and then they had the matchup between Dante and Deadpool. Every single time I see that trailer, I'm like, yes.
I loved going up against my brother with Dante versus Deadpool, and I would always pull the fourth wall super on him because I loved batting my brother into the air.
Here comes the super.
Health bar. Just grab his health bar.
I used to troll people with Phoenix Wright when Ultimate Marvel 3 came out. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to pretend to not know how this character plays and just kick people's butt. It's so funny. Spread the love around. Yeah, that's how it should be, man. That's how it should be.
Thank you again. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Very appreciated. And it's good that you mentioned Wolverine because it segues right into this. Some of the best games, some of the most hyped up games that I was so excited for. No physical.
Phantom Blade legit pisses me off, actually.
Yeah, I was so hyped for that game. I so was looking forward to that game. And then they said, there's not going to be a physical. I was like, motherfucker, now I can't buy it.
See, if it would have been like 4 years ago and they would have been like, yeah, there's a short supply in demand, I would be like, okay, I understand. But this is just a lazy excuse to not do it, because they just want to push all digital, right?
Yeah, it's not even 2028.
Yeah, exactly.
It comes out this year, which gives them plenty of reason to make money off of disc and digital. So you spread it out, you're going to make plenty of money.
Yep.
But no, they're not going to do that. Tides of Annihilation, they have not made a comment.
I think they will not do a physical release. Maybe later down the line, they might make one down the line. But considering what happened during development, now with Jennifer English and her partner breaking up, I think that put a little
Never
little
date someone
problem
you're
in
with.
there. It's not gonna work, you know. And I think they're gonna postpone the
Never.
game a little and then maybe release it on disc, but I don't know. It's hard to say nowadays.
This is why you don't date people, you work with people.
Makes things very awkward.
Tides of Annihilation, they have not announced yet. I mean, they've announced the game, obviously, but they have not announced whether or not it's going to be digital only. Now, when I went on to Best Buy and I looked it up, it said physical on Best Buy.
Yeah.
But now it's saying nothing. So, which I think is weird. Stellar Blade Blood Rain, I think it's going to be obvious. That's definitely going to end up being digital only.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably what Shift Up is going to push for, because why bother doing a physical release? Although I did see that Tides of Annihilation potentially comes to GOG. So maybe, but that's a big, it's just like a wish list thing. So
if there's any way I can get any of these games, you know, that I've been so hyped up over on disc format, so that way I can play them on my PS5, I would be stoked.
Yep.
But I've been looking forward to these games so much. And then for them to turn around and say, it's digital only, that's me. Because as you can see on my picture, it says no disc, no buy. Well, guess what happens? I'm not going to buy it. Because whether they take it, because if I were to buy it, hypothetically digital on my PlayStation, and then something happens to the studio, like, or they remove it from the store, or they just get into a spat with the studio and they lose rights, well, then guess what? I lose the game. If you buy a digital game, get used to not owning your game. And this just doesn't happen for PlayStation. From what I understand, this is going to happen to any digital store, including Steam.
Yep.
So don't think that just because you're on Steam, you're safe. You're not.
Well, Steam has a smarter approach to the whole digital download thing, though, because once you download it onto your computer, you need to just like verify it every once in a while, and then you can still play it offline. The only downside is if you play an online game, you're pretty much shit out of luck, right? Because you have to have like always online connection. But then you saw how it went when Halo launched on recently. All the servers were down. Nobody could play it, which is unacceptable in my opinion, because it's a freaking single player game. Like, what are we doing here? Like, and honestly, I think a lot of people need to put lights Sony, all the major platforms' asses under more fire for that, so they don't do this kind of stuff that often, you know, because at the end of the day, you ideally want to play your games whenever you want. So that's why I love GOG, for example, because you download the games, you have the offline files, you can play whenever. It doesn't matter if you have internet connection or not. And the good thing with GOG is you can burn all your data on discs, which you cannot do with like the digital copies of any game that you buy from the other storefronts. And unfortunately, a lot of people have proven Sony right with the going all digital after saying, "Oh, we're going to boycott them." Yeah, that didn't work, did it?
James Opp saying, "Sup, Scoob? Hit the like all for 10 months. Oh, thank you for being around for 10 months, sweetie. Wow, thank you. Spread the word, share the love, all that good."
I saw an interesting push recently. On from like people who were sick and tired of Sony's BS, and they started like compiling the old PlayStation free games into like a digital form that you can preserve, because they won't be able to buy them anymore as of July. So they're like, well, we're going to just digitally preserve them so you can actually get them and play them without any problems. And I think it's kind of sad that the platform holders don't do that themselves. Like, imagine your whole library just goes kaput. Like, it's just gone. Didn't that like recently happen with somebody on Google who bought like the Lord of the Rings and then they revoked his purchase? They're like, nah, you don't have this anymore. And
Yeah,
then
that's happened to me. That's happened to me.
That happened to me too. I think I bought, what was it? I think it was one of the Netflix Marvel shows back in the day. Like when I bought them originally, before when the whole Netflix deal was done, they disappeared and then they were gone for like a half a year. And I was like, so I'm not getting the money back, huh?
Yeah,
and that's why I don't like the all digital future, because they can just revoke everything from you, even though you put some cash money onto it.
Yeah, once they can, the purchase license. Gone.
Yep.
I had to do that. I had to do that with Devil May Cry 4 back in my days of PS4. It wouldn't let me play, and I had to redo the. I had to uninstall and restore license. I had to do the restore license in order to be able to play again. And if they take the license away from you, you can't play that game, no matter how much money you spent on it.
Yep.
Luckily, I still have all of my old systems. And what's great about the PlayStation systems, though, if you have a especially a PlayStation 2, those damn things have a 10-year lifespan each.
Yep.
They don't need to come out as often as they do. The PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 1, those things were built like bricks. You could drop them and nothing would fucking happen. Yeah.
I noticed, like, I still have my Fat Boy PS3 and I've got the Slim, right? Because I always use the Fat Boy PlayStation 2 to play my PlayStation 2 games. I still have a PlayStation 2, but it just works better with that system for some reason. And I realized recently that a lot of people are like buying PlayStation 3s again just to play the old games. But I was like, well, that's all fine and dandy, right? But at the end of the day, the servers are going to get shut down for a lot of games now, relatively soon. So how are you going to play these games? Like, do you have to go through like an extra third-party system that's running through your PlayStation? You know,
it's actually funny because Sony has announced that if you have a like come 2028 and stuff, any disc game that you have will not be affected.
Curious.
Only games that come out January 2028 onward will be affected. But any disc-owned game that you already have, like Stellar Blade or Devil May Cry or whatever, any of those disc games, you will not be affected. Any online, any digital game will be. So
this
now even then, your digital games that you already have may be at risk, and they aren't telling us.
This is why I'm glad that I bought the Final Fantasy Remake trilogy on disc. Like, because I don't know if you heard this about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, for example, because it came with 2 discs. The one was the data disc, which is like the install disc, and the other disc is to play the game, because the game is so effing huge. We had to like have an extra Blu-ray just to install that motherfucker. You know, it's crazy how much data was on that disc. I think it was like 90 gigabytes or something that was on the install disc. The rest of the data was on the play disc, and that game is like 119 gigabytes nowadays. It's crazy how huge games have gotten. There was even like a conspiracy theory when Call of Duty had like these massive like downloads, which was like 500 gigabytes on PlayStation 4. And the base PlayStation 4 had like 500 gigabytes, right? So there was a theory that Activision deliberately bloated the file size so you could not install more any other game than Call of Duty,
Yeah, and of course,
which I find fascinating.
I wouldn't be surprised. Inferno Hell Knight says, Tides of Annihilation is my most anticipated game, but I'm thinking it's coming next year.
Yeah.
They're saying so far that there's more hopes for a December release, but even if it does come out next year, that would only be 2027. It'd still be beforehand. So
I could see them dropping it in February, maybe.
So either or, it's not a 2028 release. So they would have no reason to not put it on disc.
Right.
Especially considering they have lots of money coming towards them and everything. They are not by any chance a small group. It's not like Lost Soul Aside, where it was only one person who made it and whatnot. And even that game, though, got a disc.
Yeah. Surprisingly, it did.
Yeah, and Phantom Blade Zero, kind of in the same boat as Lost Soul Aside, but it's not getting a disc. I'm sorry, that pisses me off. I'm not going to buy it.
Yeah, I mean,
Blood Rain,
who knows?
Blood Rain, I think Blood Rain's going to get a lot of flack because it's already gotten a lot of flack for the character appearance, the AI music video, and all that other shit. And if it doesn't get a disc, then I think it's going to get a lot of flack for that.
I think what Shift Up is going to do, they're going to test the waters and maybe do like a survey kind of thing. I think that's what's going to happen, just to see like how much demand there's going to be for a disc. But I think they learned their lesson from Sony's shenanigans when they released Stellar Blade, the original Stellar Blade on PlayStation, because the infamous censorship and all that stuff, which boils down to like a lot of like pre-built stuff being taken out of the game, like the gore being toned down, costumes being slightly less sexy, but we just have to wait and see.
When I first saw it, as I've said previously, it's her outfit, her body, and stuff. It reminds me of, and if you watch a lot of anime, which I'm pretty sure you do, it reminds me of Bubblegum Crisis, Battle Angel Alita.
Yeah.
Appleseed. It reminds me of a lot of them combined.
Yeah, like the
Ghost in the Shell.
90s anime, right? So like on manga.
Yeah, so it reminds me of Ghost in the Shell, Battle Angel Alita, all of them. And it's like all of them put together. Because all those movies are also post-apocalyptic. So it's pretty clear to see.
I mean, doesn't Evie even have a Ghost in the Shell-esque kind of scene in the trailer when she's like jumping down? There was like there was one scene in the trailer where people immediately did like I've seen this before kind of thing.
It's hard to say because I mean, when you think about it, there's a lot of trailers like that now.
Yeah. I mean, name me one trailer where you haven't seen the Akira bike slide being implemented in some way, shape, or form. It's one of the most referenced scenes in any piece of media I've ever seen. It's actually insane.
I mean, in the commercial, in the teaser for Intergalactic, whatever dog shit looking game that's coming out.
Oh God. I secretly hope they cancel that game, but yeah.
I sure do too. But in that one, don't they show her watching anime, but then also don't they show a little bit of Akira as well?
I think so, yeah. I could have sworn there was something like that, but Naughty Dog has burned a lot of goodwill with me. I'll say that. I was one of the unfortunate souls who played Last of Us Part 2 on release because a friend thought it was a friend of mine thought it was hilarious.
Have been released. That's a game that right there should not have been released.
Here's the thing: we had a superior game that came out months before, but it hardly got any marketing, and that was Days Gone. Days Gone was way better, in my opinion, than that game was, and the journals and everybody else hated that game because of like certain interactions that were taken out of context. But the mechanics in that game were way more innovative than what we got with Last of Us Part 2. Last of Us Part 2 is misery porn. I've played the whole game. I got progressively more miserable as time went on. And I even called my friend who gifted that game to me, and I was like, you better fucking apologize for gifting that game to me. I was like, I want my 24 hours back. I know I'm not getting those back, but still, I was already very skeptical because of the leaks. I didn't want to believe them at first, but then when I got to the scene of, Joel biting the dust in part 2, I was like, really? And you could tell that there was a lot of like resentment for the fact that Joel actually was in the game, because I remember that one of the writers that was working with Neil Druckmann at the time, she worked on Westworld, and she said that she disagreed that Joel did certain things at the end of Last of Us 1, and he should have died. And I was like, okay. So we're off to a good start already. I'm just glad we're beyond that point, and like I said, I don't have any high hopes for that new game that they're gonna bring out. There's way too many red flags for me, and like I said, Naughty Dog burned a lot of goodwill with me. I still love the Uncharted series, but that's it.
As far as Neil Cuckman goes, I'm done with him. I'm done with him.
He's a pretentious prick. Well, I'll say it.
He is. He is very much so one. I mean, even they're saying that even there are some games that, should they get postponed, that are going to be on disc, they get postponed, will be put onto digital and not disc. One of those being Wolverine.
Mm-hmm. I was very disappointed that game was not on disc, but then again, I don't have a horse in the race anymore because I barely use my PlayStation anymore. It's kind of funny. I use my PlayStation more for YouTube than anything else at the moment.
I've been gifted games on Steam, and the only reason I haven't streamed them or anything like that is because I can't figure out how to use my damn OBS, and my OBS hates my guts for some reason. So I have to figure out how to do it, which is definitely gonna be one of the very first questions I asked Tommy.
Yeah. As far as like the upcoming games go, are there any games you're looking forward to, regardless of like being digital or not? Like,
well, I was looking forward to Phantom Blade, but since it's not coming out on physical, I'm not gonna get it. Likewise with Tides of Annihilation, not physical, not gonna get it. Blood Rain, not physical, not gonna get it. It's not that I'm boycotting these people. It's just I like being able to own my game. I don't want to buy my game only to maybe a few months later have it disappear from my library after paying like $69 to $70 some dollars. After paying like $69 to $80, it's not worth it. If it's going to disappear from the store or drop at any point in time, it is not worth it. I don't know what these companies are thinking, agreeing with Sony or any console whatsoever and going purely digital. Because when I had John on, we both came to the agreement that when you have your physical and you have your digital, you can cover far more of the market than you can with just going digital. Because not everybody can do digital.
Yep.
If you want to get as many people as you want to buy your product, and the only way to do that is to account to as much of the amount of people there are.
Yeah. what I find fascinating is also this push for like cloud gaming recently. I don't know if you noticed that as well, like especially with the Nintendo Switch when that first came onto the market, there were a lot of games that were cloud only. And I thought to myself, like, why would you do that for a console that can barely hold a stable internet connection? Like Capcom was releasing games that were obviously not fit for that system, but they wanted you to use their cloud servers. And in my opinion, cloud servers are unstable, very, very unstable. And yet the same thing with Kingdom Hearts, for example. Like the old games of like 1 through 3, and I think it was Remind as well, they were all on cloud, even though you could have easily put 1 and 2 onto a cartridge to play it on the system.
Mhm.
But I think what happened there was like Disney saying like, well, we don't want people to hack the system, so you can, you know, do other things with the copy of your game. But at the same time, when you download games onto the Switch 1, you own those games. They're literally on your system. You can still download them and you can keep them forever. At least that's ideally how it should work. That's why I used to like have a lot of digital downloads on my Switch 1. But when it came to PlayStation, I always wanted my games on disc, because if there's a problem with the servers, you can still play the game regardless in most cases if you have it installed. But the thing is, especially like with Stellar Blade, for example, to bring it back full circle, if you wanted the 1.0 version of the game and you want to go back, you can still do that with your disc, but you cannot do that with a patched version, right?
Yeah.
And I think I mean, like I said, the market keeps evolving, and there's a lot of decisions being made that I don't agree with, especially when it comes to like Wolverine, for example, because let's be honest, these games are freaking huge that are coming out. They're like 60, 70 gigabytes minimum.
Yeah.
And it doesn't get better, especially if you live in God knows where, and you have a crappy internet connection. You're pretty much shit out of luck, because how are you going to download that game in time to actually play it? Like, I have a semi-decent internet, but some of the games I download still take ages. You know?
From what I understand, Phantom Blade Zero also uses Denuvo.
Yeah, on PC it does use Denuvo, yeah. Which baffles me, because Denuvo is the worst thing you can do to a PC game. Because number one, Denuvo has been cracked multiple times in the past, and relatively fast too. And also, it is proven that it will stifle performance by like 30%, up to 30%. I even saw that recently with Resident Evil 4 Remake. I played that, and they swapped out the DRM. Like, they didn't have Denuvo. It was like some new thing. And it actually made the performance even worse than with Denuvo. And then Capcom was like, all right, fine, because they got a lot of flack for it. And they were like, all right, fine, we're just going to implement the old one again. And then a month later, they completely removed it. I was like, why didn't you do that in the first place? Like, what's the big deal? Like, just get rid of it. I know there's this cliche of PC gamers always pirating this stuff and blah, blah, blah. But that's not true. Not everybody who plays on PC pirates stuff constantly.
Yeah, not everybody, promotes it either.
Yeah.
Which you shouldn't do it, people.
Yep. What I also find interesting is, how Sony has been rather anti-PC lately, because all the games that are coming out on their slate are not coming to PC, except for Phantom Blade, for example. And that's quite interesting, because Wolverine is not coming to PC, even though I think it will at some point. If the sales are too poorly, they might reconsider that decision. But I don't know who's running Sony at the moment, but a lot of business decisions they've made recently were kind of stupid. And I honestly think that Sony's punishing gamers for Concord still. Even though Concord has been, 2 years ago now at this point? It's wild.
I think Concord and Marathon were sure signs of beware to the consumer.
Yep.
Or to the gamer, I should say.
I find it fascinating how people reacted to Marathon, though, because a lot of people started playing Destiny 2 again out of spite, in the hopes of Bungie reconsidering their decision of sunsetting that game and just move all their resources to Marathon. I personally think Marathon should have been a game mode in Destiny. And I'll stand by that.
I gotta say, Sony made a stupid ass decision buying Bungie.
Yes.
Especially with Destiny 2's DLC Lightfall, as I like to call it. Even though it was called Lightfall, I call it Lightfall because it's just that bad of a DLC full of holes, and it's just a disaster.
Right.
Bungie just, you could tell it went bad because when it came to right before they killed off Cade.
Yeah.
Deej jumped ship. And when does a rat desert its ship? When they know something's going to go bad.
Yeah.
And he did that. And a lot of people were like, gee, what's going on? And ever since he did that, what happened? Bungie went downhill.
Yeah.
Big time. Big time. And they're going downhill even faster.
Yeah.
And the thing is, with all these digital games and stuff, I think they're going to realize that, and special little hello to Sonia.
Sonia. Hey.
Keep it up to you too, sweetie. Have a good weekend. I personally think that this is really gonna hit the gaming industry very hard, whether they like it or not. And when they do realize that it's going to be too late, when they do realize that it's too late, it's going to be too late for them. Gamers aren't going to want to come back.
You know what the main issue with Sony as a whole is? They have a lot of people in positions that shouldn't be in the positions they're in. And they make some very shitty decisions because of it. Like Herman Holtz, for example. He's the guy who ran Guerrilla, like the Dutch studio that made the Horizon games and Killzone, right? First of all, fuck you for killing off Killzone. And second of all, Herman Holtz is not a businessman. He was a good CEO for the company he was working for. But at the same time, he's not making great financial decisions, is he? When you look at like his decisions to greenlight Concord, he's one of the main architects for this whole live service push, next to the old CEO that was there before. But yeah, it's just there's a lot of very stupid decisions that were being made, and ultimately we as the consumers have to pay the price for it. The straw that broke the camel's back for me was them constantly raising up the price for PSN. And then this whole fiasco with Helldivers back in the day. What got me with Helldivers was, I even jokingly said this to Tomby and the others when the game came out. I was like, I guarantee you Sony's going to sabotage it in some way because it's doing too well.
Oh, they did.
And they did. 2 months later, they were like, oh yeah, mandatory PSN. I'm like, all right, okay. I'll see how it goes. Okay.
That's a way to sabotage it. And of course, they think, and then of course, you have these idiots out there who think, well, physical discs, no physical disc will make things cheaper on the digital side. No.
You know how long we've been? It's funny you bring that up because wasn't that discussion or already a thing in the early 2000s?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Okay,
and it usually turned out that the physical discs were cheaper,
yeah,
and the digital was more expensive. And we have a lovely little idiot here who likes to think so as well on Kotaku.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this fucking bozo.
Yeah. Jacob Novak says that a world without physical media will put major publishers in constant competition with each other. Though how that drive costs down is just a theory, a gaming theory.
The game theory.
Yeah, let's see what this wonderful little boy has to say.
I mean,
competition between publishers is what drives pricing pressure, not competition between digital stores. This is because publishers set pricing on digital stores. Competition between stores like EGS and Steam improves the take rates for developers, not necessarily the price for show more.
I find it cute that he's bringing up Epic Game Store because, yeah.
And then he also says digital on PlayStation Store will likely get cheaper. Explained this several times. Current prices are tied to retail. Without physical discs holding digital hostage, we'll see a larger spectrum of pricing similar to Steam.
Good luck with that, especially with Sony being accused of having a monopoly on pricing on their digital storefront. Good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly. Good luck.
And trust me, Sony's not going to do shit. They're going to keep the prices as is. Don't believe the hype. We used to believe that digital games got cheaper when it was digital and physical. Maybe there was a price difference of maybe like $10 back in the day, but nowadays there's no effing difference.
Yeah, and like I said, any game that gets pushed back for whatever reason and has to get released into 2028, they're going to have to do a digital only, which is probably going to make things even more pushed back because they probably don't have it set for that way.
I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not like trying to throw things out here, but I wouldn't be surprised if you will see bootleg copies on disc. I wouldn't be surprised. Because there's always, if you make a marketing gaffe, somebody will fill it, regardless of how you feel about it or not. Nintendo had to learn that the hard way with some of their gaming systems. I mean, I have this cute little thing here called Analog Pocket, which is no plug, but it's like a game. It's my Game Boy replacement, essentially. and somebody will fill that marketing gap. It worked for Pal World, because they used a gap that Nintendo wouldn't fill. And honestly, I think a lot more companies need to be humbled to learn the ways of like who the customer is and who actually decides what the market does.
Yes, Papa Stitch.
Papa Stitch. My PlayStation is a glorified paperweight at this point. I use it as a door stopper every once in a while when I'm pissed.
Yeah, that's right. Sony's bad. They made SCOOBYPUP mad enough to smash her PS5.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see some videos of PlayStation 5s being shot at a range popping up very soon.
I will not. I am so tempted, to just start looking for one right now.
I mean, I'm not trying to encourage anything, but
You know what? That's actually worth tempting to see. I'm gonna actually look it up. Yes, people, I'm gonna look it up. Thank you, Smoo. You just gave me a great idea.
I am a bad influence. I'm sorry, but it has to be done every once in a while. Like honestly, Sony's doing that to themselves. Like, and they will blame us, the consumers, for it. Like, oh, you wanted this. Like, no, we didn't. In fact, we actually wanted the complete opposite. I thought you motherfuckers were going to print Blu-rays forever, which is an alarming trend because that means if they stop producing game discs, that means they're going to do the same thing for movie discs as well. Because don't forget, Sony is the sole distributor of Blu-ray discs on the market. And even if Microsoft uses Blu-rays, they always have to pay I think it was like a 5 or 10% cut to Sony, and that's gonna go away if they do that, which is silly. But yeah, and also the main issue with digital is you don't always get the best quality with all digital. That's the main issue. Bend over. Hey, I see you. And I think it's kind of sad that we're moving to this all digital future. I fundamentally disagree with it. And if there's a game that's gonna gonna be released on physical, I will reward the people who put it onto physical discs. And I think that's gonna be a new marketing ploy for a lot of games that want to sell pretty well.
I think I found it.
We're playing.
Oh my.
Oh shit,
Okay,
I clapped.
works. It worked though. It worked.
It worked. The mother basically tosses it, it smashes in half, and next thing you know, you hear In the Arms of an Angel playing. It works. Worked enough.
Mm-hmm. We have a rate.
Oh, we have a raid? What? Huh?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Oh, a Tomby raid.
Hey.
Hello, Tomby.
Hey, Tommy guy. It's the Anime After Dark crew.
Ooh.
Hello, gentlemen.
And of course, we also have another big problem. Steam. Their Valve machine.
Oh, yeah.
Steam machine. Valve. The hack.
Yeah.
In case some of you guys are wondering what I'm talking about, in Europe, the Steam machine was apparently hacked. Let me see if I can pull this up because I hate having.
Oh yeah, it was like some weird like third party thing, wasn't it?
Yes, it was a third party incident. And let me see if I can pull this up. Voila. There we go. Various reports. So as you can see, Steam hardware customer data leaked due to third-party data breach. Customers who recently bought the Steam machine and other Valve hardware in Europe have been receiving emails informing them that their data may have been part of a breach. A third-party company that handles shipping for Valve in Europe was the target of a cyber attack 2 weeks ago, and Valve believes customer information may have been stolen as part of the attack. Well, isn't that always the case?
That's the unfortunate trend with that kind of stuff.
Various reports from people who have purchased hardware from Valve, including the Steam machine, Steam controller, and Steam Deck, have been popping up on Reddit as highlighted. Those reports reveal that Valve has sent out an email to potentially affected parties, letting them know that CEVA Logistics was subject to a cyber attack between July 29th and August 1st. Valve assures customers that hackers would not have been able to access their payment information. However, among details listed that may have been taken are names, emails, addresses, phone numbers, and the details of what you ordered from Valve, which is also what you need for payment information. So technically, Your payment information was at risk.
Yeah, I mean, at least Valve was on the pulse and actually informed customers early enough, relatively early, unlike Sony. Because remember that last leak that happened, and they were like, "No, nothing happened. Then they were like, "Oh, well, actually, yeah."
Yeah, exactly.
These infrastructures are getting very, very vulnerable these days. It's
Xbox also isn't without guilt for having the same thing.
Yep.
says even though that means the hackers won't have access to customers' bank accounts, which is bullshit because they have that other information.
Yep.
Having that much personal information at their disposal means with not much effort they could potentially fool people into believing they are Valve employees.
This is why you don't respond to random DMs on Twitter. This is why you don't respond to random emails on your random emails from certain companies.
Don't click links.
Don't click links. General rule of thumb.
Yes.
Always check the sender of these emails. That's always the best tip I can give people, because a lot of people don't check the sender of certain emails.
I usually tell my friends that usually a friend can tell if it's me or not, because just based on how my personality is, I'll either A, ask for their permission, or B, based on what was sent, you'll automatically know.
Yeah,
it was me.
I mean, it's the same thing when I found out that with your old account, when your old account messaged me, and I was like, that's a bit curious. It's the same. It's always the same pattern with these messages too. When it happens, I'm like, okay, I've seen this before. Unfortunate, but not much you can do about it. You know, and honestly, this will happen continuously, whether we like it or not. I think we are a bit more. People are paying more attention to it nowadays because of the what's it called? Because of the Facebook leaks that happened the Facebook data breach. I think that put a lot of attention onto like these kinds of things, and I think it's very important that people pay more attention to that kind of stuff. 2-factor authentication on everything. Just be careful who you share that stuff with. What's
funny is I do that 2-factor authentication stuff, and then I write it down in little books so that way I know where everything is, and then I always forget where I put the book.
Yep, that's actually pretty smart.
But then I always lose the book, and it's like, God damn it, now I have to start over again.
I sometimes have to put a post-it on my monitor whenever I do write down this thing, like, remember you have this book in somewhere in your room. It's like, but yeah, I have to like actually put the book in that place so I do remember it. You know?
Yeah, it's absolutely insane for me because I just have that bad of a memory. My memory is really that bad. Like, I will be designing things for whoever it is I'm going to have on for a podcast that week or the week before or whatever, and right in the middle of designing, I'll be thinking, wait a minute, what was I designing for? What was the topic again?
See, I have a squirrel brain. I have a squirrel brain when it comes to like streaming stuff, because my day job screws me back and forth mentally already, because it's like I have to remember so much stuff while I'm working that I sometimes just filter out stuff that I should be remembering. Unfortunately, it's really bad, honestly. I wish it were different, because I can memorize like the dumbest facts about songs or even like the dumbest fucking lyrics, but I cannot for the life of me remember certain appointments. That's why I always write down my stuff nowadays, because otherwise I would forget. It has gotten that bad, and I'm just in my mid-30s. You know, it's gotten that bad already. I'm like, geez Louise.
I'm 43.
I'm 36.
I'm 43 and I'm this forgetful. I'm constantly asking my nieces, please don't make me bend down. My knees hurt.
Yeah, your body's is a stern reminder of like
how old you are.
How old you are. And your body humbles you in ways that nobody else can. Trust me.
So to counter this, Valve sent out a warning email, which specifically warns customers to be on the lookout for the emails, the text messages, and even phone calls.
Right.
In which someone from the studio is attempting to get information out of them and uses personal info they already have to fool you into believing they aren't scammers.
Mm-hmm.
They said, and I quote, they may quote your address back to you to prove they're genuine. They may ask you to confirm a delivery, pay a small customs or redelivery fee, or sign in somewhere to verify your order. Treat all of them as fake. You do not need to change your Steam password, and you do not need to do anything to your account settings. End quote. Which personally, I always change anyways.
It can't harm to like change your password like every 6 months in certain cases.
Yeah.
If it's something you use often, if it's something you don't use that often, it's like whatever. But that's why I like the approach that my employer does at work, because we have to sign in with our assigned usernames and passwords, and they always make us change it every 3 to 4 months. But the problem is I have to remind myself like every 3 to 4 months what my new password is. And I oftentimes forget what kind of password I had, so I always have to write it down. And like, and it's even worse when I haven't been working for a while, and I've just been like been on holiday, and I just come back to work. I always have to like remind myself to like, okay, what did I do again? You know, what did I write down? It's like, oh no.
You wrote down something, but you don't remember what it was.
Yep. Very unfortunate.
Yes, that is definitely one thing I hate. The silver lining is that those with the stolen customer details can't do much with it as it stands. It's what those details might enable them to do that's the issue. If someone claiming to be from Valve or the delivery company that brought you your Steam machine were to get in touch, quoting your address, delivery date, and even how much you spent down to the exact penny, then some might trust that person is the real deal and provide them with more private information, leading to more troubling repercussions. If you have bought a Steam machine or any other hardware from Valve recently and you are contacted by someone who is trying to get you to pay a nominal fee for something else or telling you to change your password, ignore it. It isn't Valve.
Yeah, but the sad reality is there's still people falling for it. Still. Which kind of surprises me. Also, a little FU to Kotaku for actually, I think it was Kotaku, right? That you had pulled up there. It says Valve, also known for Counter-Strike. Like, well, they didn't just do Counter-Strike, you know? They did like Half-Life and some other games, you know? Lord Dragno. Hey.
And of course, we got Bender.
Benjamin.
Not really. Not in front of him. People don't really do that. That's the last thing you want to do.
Yeah, don't drop the soap.
Mouse32.
Hey.
Hello to you.
Hello.
Hello. But yeah, it's insane that all this shit's happening.
Yep.
And once again, like I said, when it comes to the whole digital gaming things and stuff, you're not even safe on Steam.
Nope. There was a funny thing recently. There was like this indie game dev who has a very popular game on Steam, and apparently his game is so popular on like these key reselling sites that he was like, I would rather you pirate my game than actually buy from a key seller. I was like, that's an interesting approach. I've never heard that before.
Like, yeah, and then of course you have Nintendo that's just downright starting to kill their games, some of the most popular ones, which is I believe it was Space Elite 2 or whatever. If it's they killed one of their most recent, not recent games, but they killed one of the most popular games.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which game that was again. That was Which one was it? I was kind of surprised that it was actually on Switch.
Yeah. Nintendo.
Cancelled. Yeah, Nintendo is also like I have a pet peeve with Nintendo, right?
A lot of people do.
I grew up with playing Nintendo games, but there's one thing that really really annoys me about Nintendo is the fact that their games barely go on sale, and they also had this thing with the I don't know if you remember this when they did the 30th anniversary collection for Mario. When they had Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy 1 on one cartridge, they made a limited release out of it, even though they said it wouldn't be at first. And then they were like, "Oh no, this we will stop selling this and delist it from the store." And then all of a sudden, of course, scalpers do what scalpers do. They just hiked up the prices of these games immediately, which is insane.
That is one thing I do blame Nintendo for is the recent price hike. Like when it came to Switch 2, the moment it came out was Steam and PlayStation and Xbox started to raise their prices just because Nintendo.
I think that was a deliberate market reaction, though. Like generally speaking, because if you look at it this way, right? Because all console manufacturers have raised their prices like 3 times already in the last couple of months, but Nintendo was like the first one that did it because they blamed the tariffs, right? That's always the number one excuse. And I thought to myself, like, well, that's silly. Why would you do that? And then it turns out that it was all a bunch of bullshit anyway, because they weren't affected by those tariffs anyway, and they were just using the tariffs as an excuse for a tax write-off. And I'm like, okay, so we were paying the offset so you could make some profits. That's not how that should work. I mean, it's like when I want to post stuff to my friends in America, like the postage fees I have to pay nowadays for a package is insane. I have to pay like an extra $30 just to send a package, which is kind of silly. On top of the import fees that I usually have to pay for, other things.
It's Space Elite forced that Nintendo shut down.
I don't think I even heard of that one. Oh, that was that like a Star Trek game?
No.
What?
I don't pay much attention to Nintendo.
Oh, okay. I don't think I even heard of that game. But I did hear that the game was canceled and everybody was like, huh? Like online support was canceled.
No, here's what it is. It's the 2 games are Aliens, Fireteam Elite.
Oh, okay, yeah. I heard of that one.
Completely shut down, unplayable.
It doesn't surprise me because the sequel is coming out. I think that's why they're shutting the service down. Because Fireteam Elite 2 is coming out soon, I believe.
Left 4 Dead.
That was on Switch?
Yes. It is also getting shut down.
Left 4 Dead was on Switch? What?
Yeah.
Okay. I learned something new today.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That is fascinating.
So yeah, those 2 are no longer playable.
See,
not like I ever played them in the first place, but
see, I understand it when it's games that are dead anyway. Like if there's hardly any players for it and you shut down the service, that's one thing, right? If it's a game people actively play and then they shut down the service, that's a whole nother can of worms that you don't want to open up, because I honestly think that just makes things worse.
Yeah, definitely. It just
makes it worse.
Yeah, it's a shame that. I mean, I guess you could say the gaming, we had it good back in the early thousands and such. Games were physical. We didn't have to worry about DLC. We didn't have to worry about having to buy in-game content or anything like that. We had complete games. There were patches.
Right.
But we had complete games and everything. And we kind of got spoiled by that. But then again, that's how a game is supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
Complete to the core, and they weren't, and they were expensive, but they, at the same time, they weren't.
Right.
They weren't expensive to the point where you probably had to sell your soul. And back then, the game systems, they were more durable. They lasted longer.
Yeah.
They were worth buying. And they weren't at an insane price. Like, look at now, the game systems are even rising in price.
Yep.
Game consoles. We got PlayStation doing another stupid ass move and raising their console price. By the time the PS6 comes out, I am not buying it.
Well, we all know that the price of the console is going to be at least $900 bucks anyway.
Yeah, it's probably going to be roughly around 900. So I sure as hell I'm not going to be paying that. Especially since it's going to be digital. I'm sorry. No, digital can kiss my ass. Like I said.
What I don't understand is this weird thing of like, why would you not do like at least like a backwards compatible thing, right? Because then that alleviates a little bit of the problem of like having some sort of physical media. Because
that's a very good idea. If they have like backwards compatibility on their PlayStation 6, and it was backwards compatibility, say, for all the disc games that they've had over the years, then they can make a lot of money. Then it would be worth the price that they have it for, and so on and so forth.
Right.
But if it's strictly digital, you're going to have to pay $900, and then you're probably going to have to pay for games that are $70 to $80 at that.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, I just showed off this right here because relevant to a conversation, because we don't know if the third game is going to be all physical or not. But good luck getting a physical copy of this game nowadays. Or like generally speaking, like I've looked at some games recently, like because I actually picked up a Guitar Hero controller because when I was in Orlando meeting up with a few people for the MegaCon meetup, we all played Rock Band together. And that was such a blast. I actually forgot that how much fun I used to have with these games. So I actually picked up a fairly cheap controller, just so I can actually take it on travel with me and play with people whenever I'm on the go. But yeah, $70 to $80 for a license is crazy, and it's going to be more expensive because I think it was Sevi, one of my friends. She actually pointed out that Sony's basically price gouging the consumer by making the base price like $110 to $120 because they're not even offering like a standard edition for the digital copy of the game.
But the thing is, is that it's, although a lot of people are pissed off at Sony for this, it's not just Sony.
No, it's Rockstar as well.
It's Rockstar, it's Microsoft. They're all pulling this shit. So, people, they're placing the blame on one company. Well, Sony's a major player, so I guess that's why they want to place. I'm assuming they want to place all the blame on that, but also because they have always been good as a fallback, but they aren't the only ones responsible for this. Nintendo has done this. I mean, hell, Nintendo stopped giving physical and only gave out card keys. Only gave out the keys. They didn't really give out physical discs. They gave you just keys. So Sony is not the only group to blame. You have Sony. You have Microsoft. Like you said, Rockstar. All of them. And then, of course, one of the other things I think that they're going digital for is because the Steam machine. They see that as as more contest. Well,
Yeah.
and therefore they go digital just like Steam is digital. Well, there's just one problem. One thing that they had, even if the Steam machine came out, even with the Steam machine coming out as a console, they would have had one thing that the Steam machine doesn't, and that would have been physical disc. And since they're getting rid of that, they're just like them.
What I don't get about this whole like going discless thing is like I don't know if you saw the Wolverine PlayStation editions that they showed off recently.
Yes.
Like I mean, I like the gimmick that you can look into the console. That's pretty cool and all, but what's the point of having that when you cannot have any discs?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. With the current PlayStation 5 models, you can buy an extra drive, but that sets you back another $120 on top of the console that is already expensive AF. You know?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? You know?
Like, sales numbers wise, for the PlayStation 5, the PlayStation 5 with disc outsold the digital.
Yeah. And I can tell you exactly why, because number one, I don't know if you remember this when the PS2 came out. The PS2 sold pretty well back in the day because it had a built-in DVD player and it was one of the cheapest DVD players on the market. That's why it was such a high-selling console. What a lot of people are doing with the physical version of the PlayStation 5 is that you pay for an extra Blu-ray player with the console, right? At least that's what I used my PlayStation 3 and 4 for predominantly when I had no games to play. You know,
the PS3 I loved. Not only because I loved the PlayStation 2 because it was a brick, it played games, it played DVDs and such.
Yes.
The PS3 came out. I got the Slim. I was a little bit late, so I didn't get the Fat Boy that I got was overheated way too fast.
Right. Right.
So I got the Slim, not the Super Slim, but the Slim.
Right.
And that one, the one thing I liked about the PS3 is it played both DVDs and Blu-ray.
Yep.
And your game disc. But then the PS4 comes out and it's only Blu-ray in your game.
Yep. It's funny.
And then the PS5 comes out and it's only Blu-ray in your game. And it's kind of like, you're okay, Sony, you're starting to fuck things up right now.
You can't even play regular CDs with your PS5.
No, you can't. You can't even do that with your PS4. PS3, yeah.
It's funny because
the PS3
I don't know if you see this right here.
Oh.
This is a Sony Walkman, right?
Yeah.
And I got this little fellow right here as well. I use my PS3 to still copy make digital copies of my discs whenever I get them, because the PS3 can still do that. For some ungodly reason, Microsoft got rid of that feature for their consoles, but you can still do that with your PS3. To this day, Sony has not gotten rid of that feature, and that's why I'm using that to back up my CDs. Still works. I've done that fairly recently with my Audio Slave collection because I love that band and Soundgarden as well. And I backed up all the CDs, or Breaking Benjamin and all that stuff. I put all of that onto a USB drive and on here as well, just so I have a backup.
And that's another thing about the physical disc is backup.
Yep.
If something goes wrong on your digital, you have your physical to be a backup.
Correct.
So, again, that's another mistake that they're doing.
Yeah, I think they're doing that deliberately so you cannot like preserve your media. That's one reason why they want to go all digital.
Which I believe I forget who it is that's going after them about this. They
Like, stop killing games. Stop killing games
stop
is
killing.
going
Well,
after.
then again, stop killing games has a conflict of interest.
Yes.
They
Kinda.
they kind of, because they are connected to Sony in a way.
Well, the creator of Stop Killing Games came out and debunked that recently, but that's the thing, because you have to be very careful what you hear nowadays when people talk about this company, because what while I find the cause very noble, that they want to make sure that games are preserved properly, which I fundamentally agree with, because
Yes.
if you buy a game, I'm of the opinion that you should be able to keep it forever, regardless of whether the servers are working or not. Ubisoft begs to differ on that one. I know that for a fact. And I think we have a huge conundrum when it comes to that kind of thing, because, I mean, granted, with online games, you could argue, like, who's going to run the servers? Are the publishers responsible for the service, or are we going to allow fan servers? But there was I think it was in California, there was a governor recently that said that fan servers are technically illegal, which makes me wonder, like, how else are people supposed to play these games then?
Very true. Very true.
And it's also, like, if you look at, like, the arcade games that you mentioned, because I love Street Fighter Free First Strike, for example, or like X-Men versus Street Fighter before it actually was re-released fairly recently. And the only way you could used to be able to play that online was either through the limited releases that were on console, or through emulation, and then you had to run it through a program called Parsec. So it was like basically a peer-to-peer connection, so you could play with other people online, and that was done through the normal internet connections of people. So I wonder how that's gonna go in the future. Like, we've seen the best example recently, Anthem, a game that EA published, and that had its service shut down just fairly recently as well. So how are we gonna go about that, right?
Anthem was a joke.
Unfortunately, I like the concept of it, but I was like, okay, this is way too ambitious, and it has EA written all over it, so I don't have any faith that it's going to be good.
Yeah, Anthem, in my opinion, it was a joke. It had potential. It had potential, but it was
a victim of EA.
Yes, it was a victim of EA. It had potential, but it was just, yeah, like you said, victim of EA. There's a lot of games out there that are like that, and it's a shame that a lot of new games that people are really hyped up about are going to be digital instead of disc, even though they said they were going to be disc, or really good games that people are really hyped up about, that when they get postponed, if they get postponed into 2028, they're going to be going from disc into digital.
See, and I don't mind if they do like what Expedition 33 did, like, or Baldur's Gate, when you release a physical disc after the fact, but make it like a special edition kind of thing, right? So you get some extra bonuses because you adapted the physical disc. You get some extra stuff with it that you don't normally get. I like that. That's
one thing I don't understand, though, is if, like, they'll say, oh, we'll give you the digital edition, you'll get this, that, and this. Okay, right. But I want a physical disc. I don't want a statue. I don't want to. You can get the soundtrack. Okay, where's the soundtrack? It's on your PlayStation. Wait, what? Yeah, why can't I have it in my hands?
And your soundtrack is going to run through an app that you have to install onto your PlayStation, so you can listen to it with a player that we have to program in order for you to listen to the songs.
And you're going to get an art book. Okay, great. Where's my art book? It's on your PlayStation, but I don't want to turn on my PlayStation just to go through the hard papers.
Right.
When I got Metal Gear Rising Special Edition, I got the lamp.
Oh, you got the sword?
I got the sword lamp.
Oh. I
I
envy
got
you so much right now.
I got the sword lamp. I got the God damn, I got the sword lamp. I got the art book. I got the soundtrack, and I got the game in Steelback. That's what they gave me.
Oh.
Price $80.
Yeah, remember what you used to get for $80? Wild.
Oh man, good old days.
It's funny because I think I spoke about this morning when I was on another show. The main game that actually had me starting my art book collection back in the day, when I originally started like collecting art books for certain games, was Alice Madness Returns. Because
I have that game. It was the very first game I ever platinumed.
It's a very good game, and I love the art style of it. So I was like, I need to have this art book, and that ever since that, I've been a avid collector of like certain art books because I just wanted to appreciate the art that the artist has put in. I've got the Bayonetta 2 art book. Think about Sekiro as well. I have a lot of like very niche games art books, and I love those books for what they are because they show you the process that was put into, or like all the work that was put into the game, because you don't really see that. And the thing is with the digital art books, yeah, that's cool, you can see it, but at the same time, I ideally want to like have it in my hand and like flick through it. I'm still old school like that. I still want to like,
yeah, exactly,
want to have that.
There's nothing like having something in your hands.
Correct.
To make use of it.
Yep.
It's like, oh, we'll give you this, that, and this and that. Okay, great. Now give it to me in my hands. But why? When we can give it to you digitally. That's not what I'm asking for. That's not what I want. You're making me pay $80 for a soundtrack and an art book that I can only listen to and view if I have my PlayStation turned on.
I think you remember this too. There used to be like games that had like these special editions where you got the art book on like a floppy disk, or on the disk, on a separate disk, and you could download it onto your computer.
I have never had something like that happen, but I do.
I think I'm trying to think if what game that was. I think it was Warcraft 3 back in the day. That had that because you could actually download the art book from the disk separately, but that was like a weird thing.
One game that I am glad that I'm pretty hyped about that is getting a physical, guaranteed a physical, and that is Onimusha Way of the Sword.
At least that's the thing I appreciate about Capcom. They still respect their customers, and they actually still do like physical.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
Somewhat. When they came out, for quite some time, I called them Crapcom because I had no respect for them. But when they came out with Pragmata, I stopped calling them that. And I still need to finish that damn game. Which I will, people. Please.
It's so good.
No judging. There's multiple endings. I'm going to... Based on the true ending, they better make a damn good sequel.
Yeah, I actually realized that when I beat the game that there was actually more to it, and I was like, all right, I'm done. And then everybody was like, wait, but you have this extra stuff still. I'm like, oh yeah, shit. So I might come back to that at one point because, man, that game made me feel stuff that I haven't felt in a while. And the thing is,
there was okay. So I went to go visit a buddy of mine, and he was in the middle of playing the game, and I didn't realize it. And he was in the middle of finishing it, and I came in right at the very end. I was in tears, and for like 2 to 3 days straight, I could not bring myself to play the game because of how depressing the end was.
Do you ever catch yourself? Do you ever catch yourself stalling a game to finish it just because you don't want it to end? Because post-game depression is going to kick in?
I have done that several times. But in this case, this game hits you in the feels so much. And what makes it even more for me is my niece, Elin, she's 6 years old. She looks exactly like the little girl in the game. I swear to God, it's like they fucking cloned her. So when I play the game,
Crazy.
It's kind of like, please don't let anything bad happen to her.
Yep.
And then I see the ending and I'm like, God damn you, Capcom. I was like, there better be a sequel. There better be a sequel. And then Capcom says, based on how good this game did, I mean, after all, like 3 million copies in one weekend, they hope to turn it into a franchise.
Honestly, even if they don't, that was a pretty damn good effort, regardless.
Yes, that was a very good game. And I played the demo for Onimusha Way of the Sword.
I still need to do that, actually.
Good. It's good.
Remind me.
It's good.
I honestly, I know that people have been complaining that the game was too easy, apparently, and then the lead developer had to come out like, yeah, we gave you some late game abilities in that demo, so don't think that game is going to be this easy. We just wanted you to have fun. So
yeah, it was more than obvious when I was playing the demo. I was like, obviously there's going to be, it's obvious, because especially they tell you, you absorb souls from this and that, so you can rank up and do this and that, and they tell you what you have to do and everything. I'm like, okay, so at this point in time right now, I'm just messing around with what the most I can get, which made the gameplay pretty fun and easy.
I'm pretty sure they did that with Pragmata as well, because when I played the sketchbook demo, because that's the reason why I actually
that's the
bought
one
the
everybody
game.
played.
That demo sold me on the game. So I played the demo, and I realized when I played that section of in the base game, that was like the first like biome that you go to after you meet Diana.
I'm so glad that had a disc copy.
Yeah.
I am so glad. I was over the moon, and I was over the moon when I found out Mouse PI had a disc copy. So that one made me extremely happy, and I am over the moon that Godzilla, the video game that's coming out for Godzilla.
The King of Monsters one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's getting a disc, and it comes out this year. Comes out in November.
Re-release, right?
Yes, it's a re-release.
Yeah.
It's a re-release, and I cannot wait. I already challenged Cult Classic Cajun, and I already said, you and I are going at it. Whether you like it or not.
Yeah, so honestly, I love when companies still, like I said, respect the customers and go with the physical route, because at the end of the day, you have to see it this way. Sure, the physical sales are dwindling in every country, but you also have to consider this. There's a lot of countries where certain games were not released physical. Like, for example, when I got Dragon God Free, the precursor to Nier, that game was never released in physical in Europe. I had to import a copy from the US to have the physical disc for that game. And that's wild to me that some games are region locked physical just because they were too cheap or too lazy to do it. Like,
that's
I don't
the one
get that.
thing I love. That is the one thing I love about the PlayStation games, is the fact that they are on Blu-ray, and Blu-rays are not region locked.
Yeah, that was a godsend.
So I've imported a lot of games.
Yeah, I mean, I remember someone brought up Dreamcast. Oh yeah, one of your mods actually never bought a console since Dreamcast. The funny thing is, Dreamcast is not region locked either, because there's a trick where you can actually play region locked games on any Dreamcast. And I actually had my cousin import Marvel vs. Capcom 2 for me from Japan, because the copies were much cheaper They still sell them to this day, which is wild to me. But also, the Dreamcast lasted way longer in Japan than it did in the Western Hemisphere, because for some ungodly reason, Sega killed that system relatively quick. Same as the PS Vita. I was baffled how many games the PlayStation Vita had towards the end of its life cycle, because
I had a PSP. I still have it, and I still love it, and I still use it, and I have dozens of imported games for the PSP, because that was not region locked. I have dozens of games for Bleach on my PSP, and stuff like that. And I'm still to this day amazed that the whole reason that the Vita exists is because people wanted 2 toggles. That was it.
Yep.
Oh, you want 2 toggles? Okay, we'll give you another handheld. We'll call it the Vita. We won't give you a lot of games though. Meanwhile, you have the PSP, big library of games, huge library, and translating at that. It did translating as well. That was amazing, and I loved it. I still do to the core, and all I have to do to keep using it, just get another battery online.
Yeah. The only thing where they fucked up with the PSP is also the Vita, was the memory units. If they would have found a different solution to that, I think both systems would have sold even more. I had for for the Vita, I had to import a 64 gigabyte memory chip from Japan, because in the West, for some ungodly reason, we only got 16 to 32 gigabytes. I don't know why. It just happened for some reason.
Yeah,
that really annoyed me.
It's like some of these companies, they really need to take a step back, look at what made things really work for them, and follow that trail again. They need to walk that trail again. Forget about digital crap and everything like that. They know what works. They need to go back, find what worked, stick with what worked, and then go on from there. We have so many games that can be made, so many games that people are hyped up, and they're going the digital route, which a lot of people cannot afford, when they can do the physical and reach a larger field of people.
Yep.
And this is all, but as far as PlayStation goes, their reasoning is money.
Yep.
If they do all digital, for them, they get all the profits.
It's greed.
Yes, it is. It's financial greed. And so for them doing digital, they get all the money. They don't have to split the money with the company. I don't know if that's how it works for Microsoft.
I honestly don't know. What I find interesting is also because you mentioned Bleach. That was the main reason I bought a PS3 back in the day, was because Sony had all the anime games.
Yeah.
That was the main reason I got a PlayStation 3. I used to have an Xbox 360, but I was like, no, I can't play One Piece on this. I can't. The only thing I could play was Naruto, because for some ungodly reason that game was locked to that system. And apart from the Ultimate Ninja Storm games, of course, but yeah, for some reason they were all locked on that one. Hey, welcome. And yeah, that's why, because every time I want to play One Piece Pirate Warriors, for example, which is one of my favorite Dynasty Warriors games, by the way, I had to get it on a PlayStation system, because it was not released on Xbox back in the day. Nowadays it is, because Bandai Namco wisened up and thought multi-platform might be a better approach, but too little too late.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yep.
But oh well, all I can think of is maybe, because things, as I've told with John stuff. Things go in circles.
Yep.
And they usually have to learn their lesson in order for the music. Music goes in circles. We
Yep.
had radio. Then we had
MTV.
record, cassette, CD. Now we have radio, cassette, CD, and record. And then, of course, we also have streaming as well. And here we go from, for games, it's usual first-person shooter, Souls-like, hack and slash.
Right.
And then you go back to first-person shooter, Souls-like, hack and slash. It just goes around and around and around and around. And now for games, game types, I mean. We have physical and digital.
Yep.
And I have a feeling that once they realize how much they have fucked up with this decision, they might just go back to physical.
I mean,
but by then it might be too late.
Yeah, I think that they're gonna regret that decision. But also, look at the reaction when Sony broke the news that they would go all digital. They didn't even tell their business partners about this. They found out the day we found out.
Yeah, and the thing is though is I've told a lot of my friends about this. Sony was prepared for this backlash.
Yep. And
as far as this backlash goes, they don't care. All of the companies, they have a plan. They all know that there's going to be backlash, and they all don't care. They all have a backup plan, and they all have a backup plan for that backup plan, and so on and so forth. And all these companies also, for example, Microsoft and Sony. Gaming is just one spot for them.
Correct.
They have their arms and legs and everything spread out in so many different areas. Electronics, movies, all that stuff. You cut off one arm, say gaming is an arm. You cut that off, that's nothing to them. It's a drop in the water. They don't care. They still got plenty to fall back on.
Yep.
Music, movies, TV, you name it. Microsoft, they got computers. They got all sorts of stuff to back off on. Us complaining, us saying, well, we're not going to buy this or whatever, it doesn't faze them. So something big has to happen in order for them to stop this, which we know pretty much nothing will. So all we can do is really hope and pray that it'll turn around like a little circle.
I think what's going to happen is we're gonna see something like a renaissance of like physical media returning at some point, because I mean, look at like vinyl records, right? Because vinyl was like not en vogue for a while, and then all of a sudden everybody and their mom was printing vinyls again. It's like, and the sales for vinyl records went through the roof again as well. And I thought that was very fascinating, because I thought like vinyl, that's very antiquated. But then I realized like that I was eating my own words with that statement, because I realized like how much better of a sound quality it actually is when you compare it like to a CD. And it's interesting because there were certain gaming soundtracks that I actually own that are only on vinyl, because they didn't see any reason in like printing it on any other medium. And I still own like certain soundtracks on vinyl because I love them. Like I've got the Devil May Cry 5 soundtrack on vinyl. I've got Police Knots, which is like a very like obscure Hideo Kojima game from the 90s. The Nier Automata soundtrack, Nier Replicant, all that stuff. And it's interesting because there's like a niche market for this kind of stuff still, but they come with a price, obviously, because because of that being like a limited release,
Now, like, I can understand in certain cases, like indie games, in the sense, Silk Song. I can understand
Right.
that being digital only. Certain games like that.
Yeah.
I can understand that. I can understand those being digital only.
Mhm.
But when you got games like big games on top of that
Right.
people are expecting, like Tides of Annihilation, Phantom Blade Zero, Blood Rain, all them, you better give the people another option other than digital, because not everybody's going to want digital.
True. Very true.
And like I said, this isn't just Sony's fault. And also, when you get hackers can also come in. Like we've seen with Steam. They come in, you get locked out of your damn account, you're fucked.
Yep.
You can't play your game.
It's already bad enough that you have hackers in game, and then you have to deal with hackers like outside of like the gaming platforms you're on, and then you have to deal with that too, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, like for the PS3, when Anonymous hacked PS3 for about a month, I couldn't game, which drove me nuts. Even though I had a disc, it still drove me nuts, and I couldn't play on my PS3. But there was a fallback. I had my PS2.
Yeah.
So I was able to play on that.
Mm-hmm.
But still, it's insane for some people. It's going to be insane for some people, and it's going to cause major drawback for gamers. And I think when things are a bit more tolerable, things do get fixed. It just might be too late for certain gamers. So
yep.
They're going to learn the hard way.
Yeah, I mean,
all of us.
I mean, they probably will claim that they don't feel it, but let's be honest, they will in some way, shape, or form. The whole point was for console was really for physical media. That, and also because you didn't have to jump through hoops of like, oh, I need to build my PC. I can just pop in a disc and play. That was the luxury that you had with consoles. You didn't have to go through all this bullshit. Yeah, didn't have to install the games, download them, just pop
They
the
were the
disc in,
cheaper
boom.
option. Consoles were the cheaper option to a PC. PCs weren't exactly affordable to everybody.
Correct.
But consoles were the cheaper option. So there is that. Consoles were the cheaper option. Not only were they the cheaper option, but they were also good for music, DVDs, and gaming. So they served multi-purpose.
Yep. Yep, that's how it be, and that's how it do, And
very much so.
I just hope, like I said, that we get like a renaissance of sorts with media, but it will take some time. And I think that's why I always say to people, like, vote with your wallets and be wise with your purchases, because if they see console manufacturers see that people are going back to like older consoles just because they can play physical media, they might reconsider like their decision on certain business decisions they've made just because they felt like it would be better. And let's not kid ourselves, because I want to bring it back full circle to what we were talking about earlier in this article. Digital games are not going to get cheaper. Just because they kill physical media doesn't mean they will make them cheaper. No.
And also, let's not forget the current generation, the new generation. It's going to take a while because they have no problem with digital stuff. They love this digital stuff.
Yes.
They're not going to make it easy.
True.
It's personally, I think I blame those kids.
Those damn kids.
Get off my lawn.
Get off
my
lawn.
system.
But yeah, I'm just like happy to see like people spiting the big companies and actually buying all consoles. Just to
Yeah,
stick it to them.
it's good to show. It's good to see who fellow gamers. I mean,
mean,
this
I
is
get
a
it
good way.
with
This is a good way of seeing. It's a good way of telling who's a real gamer and who's not.
yeah. I think what we also need to consider is this: like, I understand that with live service games like Marvel Rivals, for example, you cannot print them on disk because these games are fucking humongous. Like, if you look at the file size of Marvel Rivals, I mean, they recently reduced the file size by like 40 gigabytes or something.
Mm-hmm.
But that is like 150, 160 gigabytes. Like, you won't find anybody who prints like 2 Blu-ray discs full of data anymore. That Square Enix just did that out of novelty because people were bitching about the fact that this game used to be on free CDs, so they're gonna do it on a free Blu-rays or 6 Blu-rays or whatever. That's why they did it. So
It
yeah,
is very much a
yeah.
yeah. It's very much a shame. So
My camera's acting up again. There you go. Stupid camera. It's a stupid AI thing. Honestly, I hate this AI zoom thing because I do one gesture, like even tip my hat, and it zooms again. It's so silly.
So I would very much like to thank you for coming on. Hope to
Thank you for having
catch
me.
you on here again soon.
Yeah.
You're officially a friend of the channel.
Yeah.
So as I like to say, show your shit.
Yeah. So I'm Smoo. For those who don't know me, I'm usually one of those random assets on the internet who decide to play video games for fun. I'm also a moderator for a lot of YouTubers, who I'm not going to name drop here because it gets old. But yeah, you can find me on a lot of channels. Usually, I'm on Hump Day Shinwag with Tomby and the gang on Wednesdays. Monday, I have the Golden Age podcast with my good friend Isaac, and a few other people as well. What up, Wade? And yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Rumble, Kick, and Twitter, of course. Usually, just follow me on Twitter. That's probably the easiest way to figure out what I'm doing next, because I'm pretty good at posting my stuff there. Not necessarily on the channels themselves. I could be doing a better job at running my community tab. But yeah, be sure to subscribe to Scooby and show some love, and also make sure to stay hydrated. It's very important. That's all I got.
Yes, stay hydrated, or you'll end up like me
Always.
in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
That's my second home so far
That's
this
the
year.
nurse speaking at me. Unfortunately.
So far this year, that's my second home.
Oh boy.
As far as I go, Monday, I do not have any plans, so I will try and do a Pragmata stream, because it has been a very long time, and I owe these guys so much. It's the reason why I do this. Is I do this that way they have someone to laugh at, and be entertained by. So I am definitely going to hop back onto Pragmata for you guys next week. Mods, thank you for doing what you do best. Thank you, Raiders, for all that you've done so far. Thank you, IB, for the gifted membership. And thank you, James Opp, for sticking around for 10 months.
You made the world go round.
Yes. You guys, subscribers, all of you guys, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for becoming a member. All of you guys, I do this for you. I hope you guys do have a great afternoon, evening. Be sure to swing by next Saturday for SCOOBYPUP'S podcast. I will have for a guest the real Tomby. So be sure to swing by then, and we will have some more fun with him. Until then, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.